Welcome to the Doggy Style Podcast, where we talk about dogs, a little bit more about dogs, other animals, and everything in between. Please subscribe if you like what you hear. We have our first guest today, episode 1, with Nate Keil, aka my brother. Hi, brother.
Hi, sister, aka Para, for all you people from my Instagram world.
Okay, well, yeah, we were going to get to that to the end, but sure, you can throw your handle out there ASAP, I guess. I guess we can do that. Okay, so, what to talk about? So, before we start, I just want to acknowledge you for finding your passion so soon. Like, I literally have no idea how you did that, and it's inspiring, and I'm literally tearing up just thinking about it.
Oh my.
That's crazy.
Oh my.
That's crazy.
Let's tear up.
That's crazy. So yeah, I just want to talk about that. Like, how the hell did you find music so quickly? And yeah, just talk about that, please.
Honestly, I just feel fortunate because it wasn't anything that I did. And, you know, it makes me emotional too thinking about it sometimes because I'm like, you know, as you know, it started off as just drawing. I remember I'd always have mom draw things for me, and then I would, like, decorate it. Those are my first, like, memories of doing creative shit. So that's, like, where the passion came from. And the first thing I remember was, like, I'd have mom draw, like, these muscle men. It would be, like, this, like, stick figure, like, muscle guy. And it would just be a very, like, just simple, like, rough drawing of a muscle guy. And then I remember I would, like, draw tattoos on him and, like, put his sunglasses on him, and I would always draw, like, pants, and that was, like, one of my earliest memories of being creative, and I would always be drawing in class. And then at a certain point, it was just, like, drawing wasn't enough. It was just I wanted a new challenge, and so as soon as I was able to get my hands on something that, you know, allowed me to create and express myself musically, it was honestly that's where it all took off. But actually, I'm skipping something. It was more like drawing and then videos. Remember we used to make all those videos with, like, Asim and all our cousins and stuff? That was...
Yes.
That was... I mean, that's the thing. It sounds so cliche because everybody nowadays, especially in LA, wants to be creators. But from my earliest memories, I've always wanted to make stuff. You know, all the plays and skits we did with the cousins, I'm not trying to, like, take full credit for it or anything, but, like, I was the oldest and I was the one sparking up all that because it was what I love to do. So as far as the passion stuff goes, is, like, coming full circle to your initial question, it's like I just feel blessed. It came out of nowhere. It's just something that I like. I like to make shit. So
yeah, I remember you basically were, like, filming and directing and producing all those videos, so you can probably take full credit.
Yeah.
But how did that turn into music? Like, is it Uncle Albertus? Like, did he kind of introduce you to that?
Yeah, our uncle Albertus, who's
AKA Piano Guys.
Yeah, if you want to go ahead and Google the Piano Guys, he's the only brown guy in the group. And he was probably younger than me when he first showed me that you could, like, record songs, and you were there. Younger than
you are right now, you mean?
Yeah,
obviously.
Yeah, he was probably like, if you think back, he was probably like 27 or 26 or something in this little dingy apartment, and he brought all of us over there, and we recorded our song, Coco, Kelsey, Nathan, and Chase. And at that time, I had my little video camera, and we were making videos with Asim and Chelsea and them. And for those listeners, we're talking about, like, our old childhood neighbors in Redondo Beach. We'd be making videos. So once I saw Uncle Bertus, like, literally not just playing, because you always see someone, like, playing keyboards, playing guitar, but as soon as I saw him being able to record it, that just blew my mind, and it was just like, that's where the passion came in, because I needed to do it myself. There was no way you know, when you just really want something, even if it's like a possession, and that's passion too. Like you're just passionate about, when I think about passion, it's just like this intense, like yearning and desire to like make something that's not there already. You know, it just burns. And I wake up some days, you know, I just genuinely am so appreciative to have that mostly every day, because I just have these nightmares of like, man, what if I just wake up one day and I don't want to make shit? Like, what if I just don't? Like, what if I don't want to draw? And mind you, I keep all these passions up. Like, I still make videos, I still draw, I still paint. Every single little, that's the best part, is all these little like different, you know, branches of being creative I've continued to do, and those are the things that save me. You know, there's moments where, we're getting real deep real quick, but there's moments where if I didn't want to make something or paint or make beats, then it would be like, what the F else am I going to do? And there'd be like literally no reason to like want to even get out of bed.
Yep. And then I feel like that's when people turn to like, you know, drugs and alcohol. Not to say that that's bad, but like, you know, overdoing that could be bad.
Yeah, like, and exactly. One of my biggest nightmares in life is not wanting to create, not having that juice. Especially because I'm still in the stage where, you know, it's a lot easier. There's a lot easier to get motivation in especially creative areas when there's money coming from it, like good money coming from it. For whatever reason, that gets people to like make really dope shit. But it's another thing where you're doing it with just hopes in mind, just hopefully this, hopefully that. So the fact that go ahead. In a weird way, the longer that I go without making a substantial amount of money doing music, in a weird way, it's the more I'm proving how much I'm authentically passionate about this. And, you know, it's actually a really, you know, and that it's just more like I just got to keep going, because if I'm authentically making music every day for the right reasons, then eventually, once that music catches fire and it hits the masses, then the people are going to be hearing authentic shit. And, you know, it's hard. It's really hard for producers and creatives right now, because if you don't get views, then a lot of, especially younger guys, they just don't, they equate that to not being good. And most of the time, it's not the case. It has nothing to do with the quality of your shit. It's more about the algorithms and stuff, you know? People just don't understand that it's really hard to even get exposure at all. So, yeah, I'm kind of going off on a tangent. Sorry.
No, it's good. It's good. And yeah, people think that like these things happen overnight. Like, why would I post this video if I only have 5 views and they're all family? It's like, where the hell do you think anybody famous started? Yeah. Like, you know, it's so annoying that people don't get that. And I used to not get that until I found my passion and my drive. And now I felt that way at first. But now that I have that, like, inner fire that, like it doesn't matter if I'm getting paid or not. Yeah. Like, once you feel that, then you know that the views and stuff doesn't matter. Yeah. And the fact that me, you, whoever else can do these things without anything in return... Like, imagine when we do get something in return. Like, if we can do it now, like, and just do it, it's just, you know, it's just amazing. It's just amazing. It is. And it's like, it's all how you look at it. As always in life, it's just perspective. And, like, I could, you know, I send a lot of free beats out to artists around the world that I appreciate and have full, like, faith that they have the potential to blow up. I send packages of free beats, hundreds of free beats out to these kids. And in my mind, I'm like, and basically, like, you know, they were just, whenever I get something back from one of these artists, recordings or whatever, that feeling that I get from that is all I need. It's like the biggest, like, sending off something so, sensitive as your music off to a stranger, and then not only having them like it, but having them sit down and use their mind and focus and write a whole song to it. And I don't know if you've ever tried it, Kels, but writing a goddamn song is hard as fuck. It is hard. Well, I know. We've recorded multiple songs with, you know, cousins and Uncle Albertus and all of them. Yeah. I can't.
It's so fucking hard.
I literally, it's impossible unless you have that kind of, you know, you're kind of born with it. Plus, you gotta want to do it. If you don't have either of those, then you have no business writing songs.
Exactly, and that's so you can get it. Like it's so yeah, exactly. So when I get, you know, someone writes to it and then someone records it and then sends it back, and then the biggest one is like, you know, the final step is that when I hear it and I actually like it, like the goosebumps. Like I just had goosebumps a second ago when we first started talking about it. Like it is crazy. And then now it's getting to the point where some of these artists are like making full music videos to my shit. And when you see that, it's just like, oh my goodness. Like there's money that has nothing to do with money. It's just the fact that it just boosts my ego. And in like the most not negative, in like the most non-negative way, it does boost my ego. And it's just like, holy shit, that's the payback, that's the return. And then it feeds the fire even more. I'm like, okay, you know, when an artist sends me a track back and it's good, all that same day, I'll make like 10 new beats just off of the momentum and the feeling of that.
Yep, because you know they feel that too. That natural high kind of.
Big time.
And you kind of started that process because you gave them that beat
and
then they rapped on it.
Process,
and then now they're making a music video about it. Like,
exactly.
That's a lot of work.
Like, this beat that I made during a day, just a normal day by myself, whatever I went through that day influenced me to make this beat. And I was alone, just me and Rocco. And then all of a sudden, I send it out. This artist records it, and now there's a music video, and then the craziest thing is to see people commenting on it and showing love to it, and it's like, dude, you don't even understand. I made this on a Wednesday, you know, it was like 5 p.m., and I was bored as shit, and it's just crazy where things can go. And then the next obvious step... yeah, the next obvious step is for one of these songs, like my game is, you know, I send out free beats to people I believe in. And I just feel like it's the most authentic way to not only form relationships, but to get my music out there because they're posting it on their SoundCloud and the people are reposting it. Like, that's my whole game. But it's the long game. You know, I could play the short game and I could fucking make a beat making site and then sell my beats for $10 a pop and actually make a decent living doing that. But I want to have hit records. I want to be the first fucking Samoan with a platinum record. So in order to do that, I'm not going to be selling my beats to whoever the fuck for 10. I look at my beats like they're valuable. But at the same time, I am sending them for free, but it's with the intention of someone making a full song out of it, making a video out of it, and then that goes to this next person, and it's working. It's fucking working. So the way I look at it, like, you know, like with anything in life, if you put a certain amount of work towards something, you get that payment comes back, that time comes back. And I feel like I've been doing it for so long, and I've had, you know, my paydays here and there, but my substantial pay is gonna all come. It's all gonna come like a fucking tidal wave. And the way it's gonna come is just gonna be off of one of these hundreds of beats that I'm sending out for free. One of them will eventually hit, and all this time and energy is going to come all at once, and it's going to be crazy. And that's just how the music game works. If you keep going, getting better and better, you get a hit. And when you get a hit, you go from 0 to 100, and all this money comes in. So I'm just preparing for that day, and it's hard, just like any other thing. Like, I'm sure you have your days where you don't want to be out there fucking around with all these pups, but you know at the end of the, you know, you're building towards something. You're building and building, and that's what I'm doing. And I just have to keep, you know, it's so good that I'm saying this and hearing myself say this, because that is the goal, and that's what keeps me going. That's what keeps me making beats. And to me, it's a foolproof plan. The only thing that could fuck up this plan is if I stop. That's it.
I know. How cool is it that you have full control over it?
Full control, and I know. It's not just that I have full control, but I'm aware of it. So I just holding on to it. It's hard though, because I'm doing something that a lot of people want to do, and a lot of people like to discourage, and you know, it's rough to keep the motivation up. But if I think about it nice and concise, like I just said on this podcast, then it's actually it's an actual very simple, foolproof plan. It's just going to take time. The only hard part is not knowing how long it's going to take. That's why most people quit.
That's the discouraging part, but that's also the exciting part.
It's so exciting.
You know what I mean?
Because the way I look at it is I have so many beats out, and I have them in the hands of a lot of actually decent people who could blow up, and it's like, if you really break it down, I could wake up tomorrow and something, and my whole life could change because I have so much out there.
I know. Yeah, you just need to put things out there.
That's it.
Like, if you were could you imagine if all this time, basically, like, your whole freaking lifetime, if you were making music, but you weren't putting it out? Like, I bet you people do that.
Oh.
I bet you a lot of people
time,
do that.
Big time.
And don't let anybody listen. It's like, how do you expect for your career to jump off or anything at all to happen if you're not putting it out there? So that's the first step. And if it's out there for the universe to experience and hear, wow, like, the possibilities are literally endless.
Endless.
Literally endless.
And the more you put out, the better. And the weirdest thing is,
the higher your chances.
Yeah. And the weirdest thing is that when I think about it, I didn't even start sending beats out to people and actually, quote unquote, putting shit out there until like 3 years ago. So technically, I mean, I was putting little YouTube videos out and this and that.
Interesting.
But,
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
wow.
no, but as soon as I kind of like figured out what I just explained, where I was like, okay, if I just find artists that I like basically I was in the gym and I was listening to SoundCloud. You know what SoundCloud is, right?
Of course.
Okay. So I was on SoundCloud and freaking I'm like on this workout hip hop playlist, and then this one artist comes on and I was like, ooh, this is such a good song. So I go to his actual profile because it was on a playlist. I go to his profile and I start just shuffling all his songs as I'm working out, and it's just like, you know, when you hit those real good songs that just get you to work out, and it's just the best feeling. So I'm working out to his shit. And at the end of the workout, I get in my car and I'm playing his shit in my car, just loving it. And I'm like, let me go to his Instagram and see. He must have like 1 million followers. This guy's so good. So I go, and his name's Fleeko. And I go, and his Instagram, he only had like 5,000 followers or something. And that kind of let me know, oh shit, like he might be tangible. Like I might be able to actually get this guy's attention.
Get to him.
Yeah. So what I did was I was like, okay, let me film a story of me just vibing out, like a selfie story video of me vibing out to his song in the car, like just really showing energy, and then tag him in it so he could see it. So I tagged him in it, and sure enough, boom, right away, he's like, oh, thanks for showing love, man. And I was like, okay, here's my end. Boom. I was just like, hey, by the way, I'm actually a producer. I'd love to send you, my spiel's always the same for people who I really like. I'm like, I'd like to send you...
And it should be. It doesn't need to be complicated.
No. And I'm just like, you know, I'd like to send you a free pack of beats, you know, and if you like any of them, I'd be great if you get on them. But, yeah, these are, you know, on the house. Like, I just really fuck with you. And every time I do that, it works, you know. And who doesn't want free beats? And obviously they wouldn't take them if they weren't good. So it's just... Exactly. It's a win-win, and it really, when you come at it that way, where it's like there's no money involved from the beginning, it just sets a real good foundation for a creative relationship. There's no money. We'll grow together. We'll blow up together. That's my whole thing. I'm like, let me catch you while you're little and you're just barely kind of blossoming. Let me become your best friend now. That's called an investment. You know what I mean? Because I like your music. I really do, and I'm not just coming with nothing either. Here's these beats. Take these beats. It's a great... So I've made so many awesome relationships just through Instagram. People who I haven't even met. Mostly just kids from Atlanta, rappers. But then there's like Harrison. Yeah. I have that, you know, I have a really good friend in England now who's a singer.
Oh yeah, you have people you're working with all around the world. And have you even met any of them?
The only one I met was Fleeko, the one I was just telling you that long story about. He came to LA, and he came to my apartment and we recorded. It was great. But yeah.
But that's the coolest part about it. Like the time we live in, we can get involved with people without even meeting them, and then obviously we meet them, and then the connection can just grow from there.
So cool.
It's just amazing the time we live in.
I mean, think about your business. If you didn't have the internet, it would be a lot harder to even... There's no way you would be at the level you're at now without the internet, right? Like, it would take way longer.
Synergy Dogs, my dog walking business, yeah, for sure. But more than that is like my other inspiration, which is like saving all the dogs in the world, saving all the animals in the world.
Yeah.
Like the biggest way to get that point across is YouTube and videos and obviously Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff. But like, yeah, like shit. How did anyone get anything done back in the day?
I don't know.
They didn't. They just, ate and slept and, all those natural things.
Yeah.
It's like, wow. Okay, so, question. For people who haven't found their passion yet, like, I really feel for those people. Like, I literally, 2016, I know the date, that's when I found my passion, and it was a mission. Like, I would literally think about it and be active about it every single day. Like, I want to find my passion. Like, and this was 4 years ago when I started this. So wait, I asked myself that question way more than 4 years ago. But it took until it took probably 2 years of actively seeking my passion to find it. And then I found it in 2016, and now it's 2020. Now I have a dog walking business, pet sitting business, a YouTube channel, podcast just started today, Like, it takes time. So what would you recommend people do who haven't found their passion yet? Who, like, might have, like, an inkling, or if that's even... Is inkling's a word, right?
Yeah.
Inkling?
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
They might have an idea of what they want, but like they don't know for sure. Like what would you recommend they do?
I would say, well, first of all, the thing is, the saddest part is you're talking about like 80% of everyone, which is crazy.
I know.
Everybody says that.
I know.
But the difference in what your story is that you pushed, and I think that's the key. If you, like, I don't know where I read it, or I think I heard it in a podcast. It was saying something about how, like, if you want something, if you set a goal, you need to open up, like, your, not to be all weird but cheesy, but, like, you have to literally, like, open up your own universe mentally to the possibility of something. Like, if I want to think of an idea, like, I started writing this book, like, out of nowhere. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to start.
Oh, I saw that on
like,
Instagram. I thought you were joking.
No, I was like, I'm going to write a fucking book,
Cool.
and it's just going to be a fiction.
Cool.
It's going to be a fiction. I'm literally just going to freestyle a story. And as I think about the next part of the story, I'll just write it down. So it started off, and it's like about this guy named Jude. And it's like, it's a fucking story. And it's like kind of dope already. And I'm like, okay.
I bet it is.
And after I wrote like the first like little like paragraph, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go do something. I had to go walk Rocco or something. But before I walked Rocco, I'm like, I literally like, you talk to yourself in your head, and I'm just like, hey, open up your mind to what this next idea should be. Just like be open to, like, I just kind of like picture my brain like literally like opening up like 2 doors, and just so it can accept ideas. Like, I just tell you, like, you gotta like literally talk to your own brain and be like, hey, just be open to these ideas while you're on this walk or whatever. Sure. And then I just let it go. And so I'm walking Rocco, and then sure enough, like 10 minutes later, boom, I got the next part of the story. You know what I mean? And it just popped in. And I think like that's just a small thing. I just needed a small idea. But like, if you wanted to know your passion, and it took 4 years, and that's a big thing, but you opened up your mind to the possibility of like accepting whatever that passion may be, I think most people forget that step, and they go, I don't know what I want. I don't know what I want. I don't know what I want. And that's literally all they're communicating to themselves and to their brains. Like, you got to talk to your own fucking brain.
How are they going to get any downloads if they're saying, I don't know what I want?
Exactly.
You're going to literally, if you say that, you're asking for nothing in return.
That's it. But it's so much deeper, because people don't even understand these concepts. Like, I feel like some people listen to this podcast and like, what are they talking about? Open up your brain and downloads and shit. It really works that way, fuckers. Like, it really, the connection to the brain and how your internal dialogue, just the way you talk to yourself. I don't know what I want. I don't know my passion. What the fuck? It's not fair. I see all these people on Instagram, and they know how this person likes to paint, and this person likes dogs, and this da-da-da. It's like, listen to how you're talking to yourself. How the fuck do you expect anything good to come in if you're talking like that? I'm just, I've learned, over the last couple of years or so, that the way that you talk to yourself is so self-talk self-talk is so huge. I mean, because the dialogue is constant in our brains. It never stops. And if you don't acknowledge it and somewhat control where that dialogue is going, you're going to be depressed as shit before you know it. You're going to be discouraged, whatever. And, you know, that's a whole nother topic. But just people don't understand how much the connection between, you know, all the inner shit that you and Paige know exactly what I'm talking about. But people don't get it. You need to, if you want to find your passion, you got to be open to it. You can't be all discouraged and fucking closed off. That's probably the best answer I could say.
Yeah, well, what you said is great. Like, starting with your mind. Like,
yeah,
that's exactly where it starts. That's such a good answer. Like, our mind is so powerful. It's so scary. Obviously,
so scary.
It could go, your mind can go very in the fearful state, and then you're absolutely miserable, and it literally feels like you're in hell. Mm-hmm. You could be on a beach in Hawaii. If your mind is off, you're in hell.
Oh, yeah.
That's how powerful your mind is.
Oh, yeah.
So the fact that you said that about your mind, like, that's totally key. That's literally number one, and that's exactly what I had to do. Because I would be listening to people, like you were probably the first influence on me. Like I for sure was jealous. Like, shit, like, he found music, like, what the hell, like, what I need something like that. Like, what is my thing like that? Like, and then I would go around, like, thinking I'm never going to have that thing, and it's very depressing. But then, you know, I flipped my mindset, like I would ask myself literally every day, what is my passion? What is my passion? I would journal about it.
See, that's you opening up the brain.
In journeys, my intention, that's another topic. Maybe another day we'll talk about that. But my intention would be literally so clear, so concise, what is my passion? Mm-hmm. And it took probably over a year to find it. And then after that step, I would do things like, our family is very musical. I literally think I'm the only person in the family who is not musical. So I would be trying new things. Like, so I'd be like, shit, I gotta be musical some way. So I bought a piano, not a real piano, but like a electric one. And then I learned I learned like a half a song. Like, maybe this is my thing, you know? Mm-hmm. And I wasn't looking for like a full-time job. I was just looking for something that like kind of ignited something in me. So I was trying new things, trying the piano, trying like yoga, and then I found hot yoga, and now I'm obsessed with hot yoga. Obsessed with it. It's not my full-time job, but it's a passion for sure, because I know how amazing it is in every area of my life.
Yeah.
So trying new things, it's a beautiful thing. It's just absolutely beautiful. And then, sorry to talk about myself. You know, I have to bring doggies in here.
No, it should be it's 50-50.
Thank you. Yeah, and also the podcast is called Doggy Style, right. So we gotta put the dogs in there. So then I started volunteering at a rescue in 2016, and then that is literally when my entire life changed.
I know. I remember that was so crazy.
Yes, and then Paige and I went to Houston, Texas for the Hurricane Harvey relief with Best Friends Animal Society, and helped with their whole system there, which is absolutely, and that was the second step. And then I was like, holy shit, I know my passion. Like, it literally hit me like a ton of bricks just because I was getting myself out there. I would get downloads like, oh, you should do this, and I would follow those, and then life literally changes when you listen to your brain.
Yeah. Big time.
When you clear out the negativity, and you listen to what you're getting, and you know it's right because it feels right. It's beautiful.
Yeah, that's one of the best feelings.
It's so beautiful.
I love that feeling.
It's the best feeling ever. It's literally a natural high.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing better.
Yeah, I feel like
that feeling I'm getting overwhelmed just thinking about it.
Yeah, the feeling you just described is probably the exact same feeling I get when, you know, like I said, when an artist sends me something back, or even when I create something that I really love, like if I really make a song and I add a sound that like gives me goosebumps, like that's that same feeling that you get when, you know, you come up with this really great idea to, like, you know, better the business or whatever it is. It's that, like, you just feel like unlimited. That's the best way to say it. It's like, I am fucking unstoppable right now, you know?
Yep. It's like the true definition of confidence. Mm-hmm. That's what I feel when I follow my intuitions, kind of, you know?
Yeah, but you can't get there though unless you try for it. You can't.
I know. And it's a process, but it's worth it. Every step of the way, it's so worth it.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's so worth it.
But this stuff's so intricate, and that's why. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Just people. That's why it's stuff like hard. I just don't get people who are like alcoholics, and I smoke weed all the time, but I just feel like weed is. I can do it with weed, but just think about like how can you navigate life with all these little intricate things and nuances when you're, I don't know, it's a whole different topic. I'm just thinking about alcoholics.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Don't hate on the alcoholics. Honestly, I feel for the alcoholics. They're just deep in the negativity and it's all in their mind and it sucks.
It does suck.
Like yeah, that's totally a different topic.
Yeah,
I don't even have any downloads about that.
No, I don't even want to talk about that. That got too depressing.
But weed definitely helps with some inspiration. If it doesn't get you lazy, it gets you inspired. I guess it just depends on how you feel when you're doing it.
Yeah, it's more like I get energy from it, but then when it goes away, I feel really tired. So it kind of sucks, but yeah. Speaking of, I have a good dog story if we want to talk about dogs.
Cool, yeah. Let's hear it.
Okay, obviously but for the listeners, I have a dog named Rocco, and he's the love of my life.
Rocky.
Love him so much.
Yes, he is.
He's a rescue, and he's super sensitive and super smart. And actually, he's so athletic still. Like, it's fucking crazy. The way he moves, like when he really runs and like jumps around, he's agile. It's really, really nice to see because I always think he's old, but I don't think he's as old as I think he is.
I don't think he is either.
Yeah, which makes me happy.
Yeah.
Anyway, we went on our walk the other day, and it was like 6 p.m. I have to take him walks early because of the damn fireworks. As soon as fireworks go off, he won't go outside. So take him for his evening walk at 6. And you know that feeling when you feel like something or someone's watching you? You like feel eyes on you?
Yeah, I know that feeling.
Yeah, so I got that feeling, and I'm like, what the hell? Like someone's looking at me or something. So I turn around, and I see like some type of creature, like either a cat or like a dog or something, or like a raccoon, but just like a little bit of the tail and a little bit of the front paws, just barely behind a bush. I'm like, oh, that's what it is. So I like go and I like kind of like step to the side so I can get a better look at so I could see its face. And as I'm stepping, this fucker is like stepping the other way to keep hiding his face, like playing a little game. I'm like, what the fuck? What is this shit? Like, what is it? And Rocco hasn't even noticed yet, so I pull Rocco towards me a little bit so he can see, and as soon as Rocco comes into the picture, this little fucking adorable pup springs out like a fucking movie and just like boing, and just looked at me with its tongue out, and just so cute. It was like a little half Chihuahua, little black half Chihuahua, half guy. Something. So damn cute.
I saw on your Insta,
Yeah. Actually FaceTime Paige because I was trying to see what the hell to do, and I know I couldn't FaceTime you, but I FaceTime Paige at that moment.
You lazy ass. You could have called me. Why did it have to be FaceTime?
I did call you, I think, after that. I'm not sure. I think I called Mom. Anyway, Rocco...
I'll get an iPhone soon.
So yeah, you need to. What the hell? Rocco, but Rocco hates most dogs. Well, doesn't hate, but he just can't be bothered with most dogs.
Yeah, he doesn't care.
Yeah, but for whatever reason, of course, he just like starts chasing this dog around. It was the cutest thing. They start running around. They're playing together. It's like Rocco fell in love with him right away. It was so freaking cute. And this dog doesn't have a collar either. So I'm thinking, okay, fuck. I guess like let me obviously take some time and try to find its home before I make any other types of plans. But in back of my head, I'm already thinking like, yo, I could see myself having this dog. Rocco.
Yes.
I'm like, Rocco likes him. And I'm starting to think like, honestly, like I heard your voice in my head. And it was literally like, the fact that this dog is out right now with no collar means that this, that the owner doesn't even deserve it. Like, you should just keep it. You know what I mean? That was going on in my head.
Yeah, no, that sounds like me.
Yeah, so I'm like, fuck, should I just... So I'm like walking around. I pick him up because he keeps like running like into the street a little bit. So I'm like, this dog's gonna get hit by a fucking car. So I pick the dog up, and he totally lets me pick him up, like licks my neck, so cute.
Oh, so
I know.
cute.
I'm like, I will keep you. I swear to God. So we're like, we walk around the apartment complex, which is across from mine. It's not my own, and we're like walking around a little bit. I ask a couple people. I ask this old man, "Have you ever seen this dog?" He's like, "No, I've never seen him." Keep walking around, and then I put him down, and I'm like, "Let's see if he like walks
where he walks." Yeah.
So he's walking a little bit, and he's like running now. So we're like running after him. I'm like, "Hey, buddy, don't run into the street." And then he goes straight into this open garage. And I couldn't tell if he was trying to just coax Rocco in there, like just still playing, or if that was his home. So I'm like, he goes in there and he's just standing there, like at the opening of the garage, just looking at us. And I'm like, I'm just like talking to him, like, "Buddy, is this your house?" Like. And I'm thinking, like, there's no way this isn't his house. It should be fine, right? And then my conscience kicked in again, and it was like, no, make sure, like, get a human out here. Make sure that this is their dog. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep. Verbal confirmation.
Yeah, so I, like, start going. I don't want to go in the garage because COVID and just everything. And I'm like, hello? No answer. I'm like, hello? And then finally some guy comes out, like, all reluctantly, and he's, like, all irritated tone. And he's like, yeah, what? Hello, hi. And I'm like, is that your dog? And he's like, yeah, that's my dog. And I'm like, okay, well, he was all the way by the street, man. Like, he was all the way over there, and we followed him back over here. And there's your dog. And he's like, oh, yeah, thanks, man, thanks. And just walks inside.
Oh, God. I will never understand.
Till this moment, it's like, I should have kept, that guy doesn't even deserve this fucking dog. I should have kept the dog. That dog had no collar on, and that means what happened is the guy probably assumed that the dog never left. He came out and he was like, I always leave the garage door open, but he didn't hear what I was saying because he's probably a fucking horrible communicating human. He didn't understand that I found him far away. He thought that I just walked up and I'm asking if this dog standing here is his dog. And he's like, obviously it's in my garage, you know what I mean? So I get the communication issue, so maybe he's not the worst guy, but I want that dog so bad.
You literally said your dog was around the corner by the street.
Yeah.
He's an idiot.
Yeah, but he was all frazzled, you know, he came out all like, you know, and that's just communication thing, but yeah, if I...
No, you might bump into this dog again. He probably works from his garage, he lets the dog do whatever, he assumes everything's fine, the dog will be fine. You know?
Yeah, dude. That dog was running in and out of the street, but... Yeah,
if you didn't find him and spend the time to find the owner, that dog, like 80% chance, could have been hit by a car.
For sure.
I've been in your similar situation probably 10 times, and I wouldn't stop until I found the owner, and it always works out. One time, I had to take the dog to the Petco to get his chip read, hoping he'd have a chip.
Oh my, you did all that.
And then he had a chip, and then... I did all of that, and it was very worth it, very worth it. So if everybody did that when they saw a stray or a dog with the collar, it would really make a difference.
Well, for me, it kind of sucks though in this situation because it's like I felt good that I got him home, but I'm like, wait, is this home even a good home for this dog?
I know.
You know, I'm like, shit.
I know.
This dog, like, and the fact that Rocco actually liked him, I was like, I could literally take this dog home tonight and it'll be a wrap. I'll just fucking keep him forever.
Well, let's give this owner a little bit of a break. Maybe he's having a terrible day, you know?
Yeah.
And maybe he didn't hear you communicate right. I mean, did the dog look well taken care of? Like, he obviously was very sweet to strangers, which makes me think he did. You know,
he had a real nice coat. Like, he seemed like he was...
Good.
He was well taken care of. And the guy, like, he was probably just a bit older than me, like, you know... It seemed like a decent...
Yeah, he's just stressed.
Yeah, and the
it's
thing
crazy
is
times.
like, I can
crazy
see...
times.
Yeah, it is crazy times. And I could see, like, me being him, and all I hear is someone saying, hey, and maybe, like you said, he's already stressed. Then he's like, who the fuck is this at my garage? And then all he hears, because he's already frazzled, all he really hears is this your dog? And then he's like, why the fuck is this guy asking about my dog? He's at my garage, asking about my damn dog. Yeah. And then I bet you, after I left, he replayed what I said, and he's like, oh, that fucker just, like, saved my dog. Mm-hmm. And then add this, too. I obviously didn't tell him this, but I even picked up his dog's fucking shit. I just picked up
so
this dog's
stupid.
shit. This dog's mine. I was telling Rocco, I was like,
So
Rocco,
stupid.
I just picked up his shit. We're taking him home.
Well, if he's missing again, I mean, it's an option.
Yeah, but then he'll see me. He'll see me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When you go on your hour walks, he'll totally see you, and then he'll probably try to kill you.
Just casually walking by with his dog. So funny.
And then we'll know that he actually loves his dog. It'll come full circle.
Yeah, I'll be like, okay, cool, you passed the test.
And if when you do want another dog for Rocco, there are plenty out there, and like you can meet them with Rocco. So when that time comes, like we could make that happen. Obviously.
Yeah, I need a bigger place.
You don't need to steal it.
Yeah, no. Yeah. But yeah.
That's a funny story. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, good little dog story.
And doggy story. So yeah, we're coming up on time now. So
Okay.
I think we're good. But yeah, your music. Tell everyone where they could find you, and most importantly, where they could hear your music, download it, all that good stuff.
Sweet. Okay, so on Instagram, my name is Feels, Feels, by Parah, and that's spelled Parah. Feels by Parah. Same thing on SoundCloud, same thing on YouTube, same thing on Twitter, same thing on Reddit, same thing everywhere. Just go ahead and type that bad boy into Google if you're interested.
Feelsbyparah.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah, and I'll put that. I mean, I haven't. This is the first podcast,
Yeah.
but I'm assuming I could post notes when I post the podcast. So
Notes.
I'll post that. Don't worry.
Okay.
I'll post it below.
All right. Well, this was fun. Thank you for having me. I think this is a really good idea, and it's cool because I like the fact that the cool theme is that you just kind of like tie in dog stuff into everyone else's like stuff. Like, you know, we talked about my music, but
Totally,
there was
yeah.
a lot of connections between, you know, the two worlds, which no one would ever think, like connection between the music world and the dog world. It's real.
So many connections.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've been. This is one of those things that, you know, when you're trying to find your passion, trying to find things that make you excited.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've been wanting to start a podcast, like not fully, but I've been like having thoughts about it for probably a year. And then today's the day I started. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just a process.
No.
Yeah.
The newest
cool
thing
stuff.
my little quote before we leave is I read, or it was in a podcast or a video, the whole thing about emotion. Like a lot of times I find myself like wanting to be inspired or wanting that download or idea to come. But when you look at the word emotion, if you want the emotion, you got to take the end of the word, which is motion, and do that first to get the emotion. Like I always thought,
Yep.
especially with creative stuff, I thought that, you know, it just comes. You
Wow,
just wait and it just comes. But a lot of times people, if you want something to happen, you got to move first to get the feeling to come. So, yeah.
And just to piggyback off of that, like it could literally be working out or going for a walk for 30 minutes a day.
Literal motion.
That motion will bring emotions, bring downloads, and will be a great first step.
Big time.
That's so good. Emotion. I like it.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right, sis. Well, thanks for having me.
All right.
This was fun.
Thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Okay. Well, I love you.
Love you too. I'll see you tomorrow night for family dinner.
Okay. See you there.
Thank you guys so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did and learned as much as I did as well. One thing I learned is that I absolutely adore the word like, and I need to find a replacement word ASAP. But in all seriousness, what I really learned and what I've known for a while is that when you find your passion, which is also, I think, your purpose, life truly changes. So if you could just spend a little bit of time every day just trying to get closer to that, aka getting closer to your heart, your soul, your spirit, you will have an energy inside of you that you have never experienced before. And something I forgot to mention in the podcast with Nate is that the way I knew that animals, dogs specifically in the beginning, but now animals in general, just helping them in any way I can and ending animal homelessness and especially animal cruelty, is that it kept me up at night. It was all I could think about, and my heart was so heavy, just feeling so much for these animals. And it didn't feel better until I started doing something about it in my own way. taking action towards helping those animals. I hope this helps you in even the slightest bit. I would love to hear your thoughts, comments about this episode, about your purpose, about your passion. I would appreciate it more than you know. Thank you so much again for listening, and I'll see you next time.